Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. I want to welcome you to this session of Humanity Rising as we delve into the extraordinarily interesting and mysterious and compelling domain of tree whispering and interspecies communication, which is so important for the ongoing viability of our world. Before we dive into that domain, I want to just continue my reflections on the Republican National Convention, which I've been watching avidly each evening, and make a comment that is a personal comment in the spirit of truth pursued, not truth possessed. I understand that some of you may take different points of view, and that's healthy and that's good. But what I want to communicate as my own personal observation of the Republican Party process and the Republican National Convention, particularly in the aftermath of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump this past Saturday, is that I think what we're witnessing in its essence is the rise of fascism. And I want to describe this process, and I first want to define what fascism is. Fascism is used in many contexts by many people for various purposes, but in its most pure form, fascism is the takeover of the government by a single individual or a single ideology, which uses the governmental apparatus for either personal or ideological purposes. Well, that's what we saw in Germany in the 1930s as the Nazis under Adolf Hitler seized power and then used the governmental apparatus for particular ideological goals. And obviously, in that case, it was highly racist and authoritarian and aggressive. But fascism doesn't need to be necessarily. It's just simply a takeover of the government by a particular individual or party. Many fascist governments also, and in this case, I think this is what we're seeing in the Republican Party, are mobilized around an adulation of the leader. And what is underway in the Republican Party is the apotheosis of Donald Trump. He's being shape-shifted from a mere mortal to an iconic, legendary, divine figure in the worldview of the Republicans, who was spared assassination by God. Had he not turned his head just a few inches one way or another, he could have been killed, but it was divinity itself that spared him for the deliverance of America from the blight of the Democratic Party. I've been very attentive to watch the Republican National Convention on Fox News. I encourage all of you to do so rather than MSNBC or CNN, because with Fox News, you participate in the ethos that they're very carefully cultivating in the process of the convention itself. They have every intent of winning the election and taking the House and the Senate and the White House simultaneously. They have talked about further packing of the Supreme Court because it's predicted that two more justices will retire in the next 4 years, which would allow them to fill the Supreme Court for really the foreseeable future with arch conservative justices. They already have 6 out of 9. They would then have 8 out of 9. The Supreme Court has already mandated that the president has absolute immunity for anything that he does in his official capacity. So what we're basically seeing in the United States, as we approach the November election, is the rise of fascism. And we all need to understand that. Whatever your particular point of view is on Donald Trump or Joe Biden, we need to understand that we're seeing something that is historically modeled and is coalescing with real power in the Republican Party in a very, very explicit way. The other point that I want to make is that what feeds the rise of fascism is disorganization and dysfunction among the progressive forces that happened in the Weimar Republic in the 1920s. They squabbled, the progressives, the Democrats, small d Democrats, the people who wanted to just have a democracy in Germany. They were disorganized. They couldn't control the economy or the various forces inside the German polity, and civil unrest gave rise to fascism. And that's a very important aspect of what we're experiencing in the United States right now. The Democrats are divided. Joe Biden, who 4 years ago said, as he restated yesterday in an interview, that he initially thought of himself as a transitional figure. That's what he announced, that he was, because of his age, he was only going to be a one-term president. And just imagine, had he been cultivating Kamala Harris and a new generation of progressive Democrats, so that what would be taking place in the Democratic Convention in August is a strong, united transition of leadership to the new generation. There'd be no doubt that the Democrats would win the election. Instead, chaos reigns. Adam Schiff, who's running for the Senate in California, who has been one of the premier leaders in the House of Representatives and the Judiciary Committee during the Trump era. You'll remember, who was at the forefront of the two impeachments against Trump, said that if the Democrats continue with Joe Biden, the country's going to experience a wipeout. And it's entirely predictable that the Republicans will seize both branches of government as well as the White House. The polling is showing that we're heading into a potential landslide. Joe Biden, rather than keeping his word, is hunkering down. And the Democratic National Campaign, against the will of many Democrats, is trying to force an early vote on the nomination by the end of July, so that there's no question of who the nominee is come August. So that consternation is a very important aspect of the rise of fascism. And that's really important for all Americans in the world to understand as we approach this next election, is that fascism is fed by chaos. Fascism recedes with unity. The people don't normally, naturally go to fascism unless they perceive that there's really no other choice, and that the chaos that everybody experiencing has no other solution than a strong man. And if you note that whenever Trump is recognized, he raises his fist, and everybody knows what that means. Everybody knows what that means. That if we elect Donald Trump in the United States, we're going to get the fist. And so as we proceed over the next 3 months, in the United States, in the aftermath of the apotheosis of Donald Trump and the extraordinary frenzy of unity, which Jung would have called mass hysteria, that is now enveloping the Republican Party and the conservatives around the country. And as the Democrats become more and more dysfunctional and disorganized, we may see something that will topple the republic as we know it, because democracy cannot long withstand the fist. I know there will be different points of view. I'm just sharing my point of view based on my observations of the Republican National Convention and what's happening nationally with the Democratic Party. It may be that things will change. There may be things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, but we're heading into something that we should all be clear-eyed about, so that we can take the proper steps to preserve the democratic institutions as we know them. Broken and wounded as they are, they still stand after 250 years of history. So thank you, everyone, for joining us here at the Humanity Rising. I'll be continuing my observations as events unfold. Thank you for listening to these opening remarks. And now we want to turn to two of my favorite people, Jim Conway and Basia Alexander, who've been with us before. They are tree whisperers, for want of another word. They go around the world and they heal trees. They've been to my home here in San Anselmo, California, and helped heal some of the bushes and the trees that were suffering from the drought. You all know them very well. So I just turn it over to them, Basia and Jim. It's so wonderful to have you here. Welcome.
Jim, it's so good to see you again.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, in these tumultuous times, we hope to bring a little grounding with talking about being connected so intimately with nature. And I think that that helps people to come back to their senses. So let's begin. We're doing something unusual today than we've done in the past. We have pre-recorded 4 video demonstrations, and 2 of the videos are quite short and the other 2 are a bit longer. And we're going to introduce each video and then discuss and take some questions between. So the 4 video demonstrations show our unique environmental solution to tree decline and the effects of climate extremes on trees and all kinds of plants. And the trees in these demonstrations also have messages and lessons for us humans. So we invite you to ride the wave of feelings and spirit and life force as you hear Dr. Jim in these videos narrating his deep, profound conversations with these 4 trees. And then in the videos, he adds some of his insights while he's still in the zone. We hope that these will be compelling experiences for you, compelling experiences of intuitive interspecies communication that leads to what we call collaborative ecological healing, which Jim will now introduce.
So let me start out with just a little story, first of all. We were working on this golf course. Golf course superintendent invited us to come and help some trees out on a very prestigious golf course. And so I'm standing there like I normally do with my hands on the tree and working with the tree. And on this particular day, the golf course was closed. But the golf course president naturally can even play golf on the day when the golf course is closed. So the golf course president comes rolling by in his cart and says, this golf course superintendent, what's that guy doing? Golf course superintendent says to him, well, you're familiar with the dog whisperer, right? Guy says, yes. He says, you're familiar with the horse whisperer, right? Guy says, yes. He says, you're watching the tree whisperer. And so president says, send him over to my place. I have some trees that I need some help in my place. So the story went on from there. But anyway, what I do is collaborative ecological healing using intuitive species, interspecies communication. That's a mouthful, but let me explain. I collaborate with the intelligence and spirit of the trees and plants of every kind as an equal in intelligence in order to work out a path to healing for these trees and plants. See, trees and plants are stressed and sick from various things such as climate extremes and human interferences. Their internal functionality is compromised and disconnected. In other words, their parts, systems, and functions aren't working right. And I help get those parts, systems, and functions reconnected so they can be healthy again on the inside. I work with the internal functionality, not on the outside of the tree. Sadly, conventional tree care does not recognize or address compromised internal functionality. They don't even recognize, they don't even talk about it. But I do, because I have a PhD in plant pathology. My intuitive skills, I can consciously collaborate with tree and plant consciousness to find out what's not operating on the inside of the tree. And then together, we, meaning I and the tree, work out a path to healing for that tree. This process can take about 2 hours of yes/no questions and putting like what I call a puzzle together to form a picture. It's like when a doctor does a health interview with you, but I don't diagnose or prescribe. Every tree is different and has a different path to healing. The tree and I work out exactly what the tree needs to heal itself from the inside out using intuitive communication. This way, the collaborative ecological healing can occur. So now, let me tell you about the first video. It's about 5 minutes long, and it's lots of fun. I had a real good time with this training. It'll be a good start for you to get an idea of what I do. Then the following videos will give you more detail. So this is kind of a fun video, give you some idea. The beech tree, this beech tree that I work on, is in Epping Forest, north of London in the UK. It's been registered as an ancient tree. This video starts after now. I have already worked out the collaborative healing treatment with the tree's intelligence using my 6-page protocol. And so the tree is feeding back to me the steps it needs to take on its path to healing. Put my hands on it. It was going, I could feel the energy going up and down, like I don't know which way to move. I'm not sure what to do. You know, I don't really know what to do. And I kind of went the treatment over, oh, okay, all right, that's kind of interesting. So I said, all right, let me walk you through it. Let me walk you through the whole thing. So I did. I kind of walked him through it, and he feeds it all back to me again. That's so cool, you know? And you could, you know, I could see it, I could feel it, you know, kind of feeding the whole thing all back to me, the whole treatment is feeding it all back to me. Open the leaves a little more, make some more food. That'll help me get my circulation going. Then I can take that food and move it to get my xylem and phloem going. Put on new xylem and phloem. You can see it putting on new xylem and phloem. It's feeding back to me what it's going to do. I'm going to put on new xylem. Then I'm going to grow. Okay. Then I'm going to grow. Then I'm going to grow. Feed my parts, systems, and function. Feed everything inside of me. Then bring everything in balance. So I'm balanced, good. Then community and the whole area turn white, you know, light, the whole area turn light. So that's my community. I want to bring my whole community in, and we're all going to feed each other and take care of each other. Bioenergy, whole greater than some of the parts, all one, replenish all. That's what it showed me. It fed the whole thing back to me. he's a 10 now.
Wait.
Fed it right back to me.
So what's its rating?
And I ask you 5 or better, yeah. You 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, no. 10, yes. I'm operating as a 10. All right. And it sure is, because it fed back to me exactly what the treatment is. It knows what it's doing.
Very intelligent tree.
Have you ever had your instructions fed back to you?
No. That's a first. That's a first. There was some indecision there as to what to do. You know, I was kind of saying, I don't quite have it. I got it. I kind of don't quite have it. What do I do here? I kind of explained it to it. Yeah, okay, I got it.
Fantastic.
I got it.
And how old is this tree?
At 820 years old. You know, it's easily 820.
Yeah.
Easily 820. 830? No, I'm not 830. 825? No. 820? Well, maybe not quite. 821? No. 22, 23. 823. Here you want to be exact. I'm 823 years old. Okay.
Wow.
Started off as a little seedling here.
Yeah.
800 years old. Wow. You talk about, wow. Look at the size of this guy. God. Exciting to be with you. Yes. Oh, you are just exciting. Thank you for sharing that with me and feeding back my tree. So the trees are saying, well, they're going to give me their feedback from now on. This tree said it's going to tell all the others to give me feedback. This really helps me, because if I get some feedback, then I know I'm really helping them and that they got the order right for the treatment. And what this all does is, it, you know, in this case, this tree is not that sick. It's healthy for the most part, but it's not living its optimum life. And this is an opportunity to live its goals and its optimum growth and optimum life. That's what the opportunity is for the trees. And then and also, by the way, they're less subject to climate change that way. But the big key is that they have goals just like we do. They have goals. I want to be big. I want to, whatever it is. I want to greet people going down this path. I want people to go, wow. I think this one likes being on this path. These people come down this path and this tree says, I get to wow them. See, they get to look at me and go, wow, you know. and I get to wow them. So I like to come over here and kind of hang over them and wow them and then they go on by. And yeah, I know, I got your number. Yeah. So I want to be healthy, but then again, it's to live that optimum growth, not just live. It's live their optimum growth and reach and live their goals. Otherwise, they could just live, grow some, and just be healthy, but that's about it until the worst climate change come along and then they get sick. Okay, this way they have the chance to really live their goals and live their optimum life. That's what this is all about. Ready? So our name for this tree is Feedback Wow. A path to healing helps the tree live its optimum life and reach its goals. Goals could be healthy, grow big, withstand climate extreme, or others. It's like the treatment lifts a veil of restrictions off the tree. The climate change, whatever that has caused to harm the internal functionality of the tree, or whatever human interference has happened. Otherwise, the trees would just be living minimally and just growing a little bit until climate extremes cause 3 or more stresses that lead to decline. So now, let's go straight into the next video. Having a yes-no exchange with a tree or any kind of plant is a really simple and easy way to start interspecies communication. All you need is curiosity and a willingness to come from the plant or tree's point of view. In other words, to set aside any human-centric idea or preferences and open your heart and mind to the tree's perspective of life. My goals for this kind of exchange with a tree or plant are about finding out what parts, systems, and functions inside of the tree are compromised, that internal functionality of the tree. It's like I do a health interview like any doctor would with a human being. It's like playing a game of 20 questions, finding out what's not operating inside of the tree. Communication occurs through sensory sensitivity and intuitive awareness. I see, touch, feel, hear, and even smell the tree or plant's answers. Information also comes to me intuitively, but I have to be in a state of inner peace and quiet to do this. I have to be quiet on the inside to hear answers from the tree. Then I can ask questions and get answers. Because I have a PhD in plant pathology, I already know a lot about the tree's physiology. So I use that knowledge to ask detailed questions. That's what I do. But you can ask questions about a tree's health by using just common sense. That's all. The way I get answers is my head shakes yes or no. Or you can just feel it. I feel it, my head shakes, I know when I'm getting yes or no answers. So, let me begin. Put my hands on the tree, and I start to ask the tree questions. Do I have permission to treat? Yes. Is your circulation running good? No. You need help driving your circulation? Yes. Do you have enough food? No. Is it because of food? Not enough food that you can't drive that circulation properly? The tree says, yes. I don't have enough food, therefore I'm unable to drive my circulation properly. Okay. So what else is going on for you? Are your parts, systems, and functions fed? No. So you don't have enough food, not enough circulation, and your parts, systems, and functions aren't fed. So I say to the tree, okay, can you break down? Now look, we're going to help you with a path to make more food and therefore drive more circulation and get your parts, systems, and functions fed so that you can begin to grow and thrive. Yes. Okay. You're on board with this. Yes. And on your part, yes. We're going to ask that you connect your leaves to the sun more to help increase the photosynthesis in the leaves. Connect light energy, life energy, universal rhythm in the leaves so that they start to make more food. That's just a start to make more food. Once you start to make more food, then break down whatever food you're making or whatever food you might have stored to help speed up that circulation. So you speed up that circulation. Aha. Okay, it isn't just speeding it up. Right. It's about focusing the energy from the food breakdown to driving the circulation. That's your problem. Okay. So we need to focus that energy to just thrusting, getting the circulation flowing. So the energy doesn't get blown off in another direction and used for other things. You want to use that energy of your food breakdown to just drive your circulation. Good. Can you do that? Yes. You would drive, you make more food, that'll help you drive more circulation, which will help you drive more growth. Yes. Okay. Now, does that help you out? Yes. Can you bring all of that into balance? Yes. Your growth into balance? Yes. Does that help you make more food? Yes. Because now you have more leaves? Yes. But I have another problem. Aha. What's that problem? I have these insects that are attacking me. I got it. You're an ashtray. Right. I got these insects that are attacking me. Yes. What can we do with that? So why don't we ask the insects to just stay where they're at, inside of the tree. You feed them, but ask them to not move any further inside of the vascular tissue of the tree. But you feed them. You let them complete their life cycle. They go on and live, and you go on and live. They don't kill you, and you go on and live. Okay? And the insect can go and live because it can complete its life cycle. Okay. Is there anything else? No. Do you think you can replenish your part systems and functions? No. Why not? Because I still don't, the circulation still isn't enough. Okay. But we will gradually build up that circulation with the more thrusting and the more food, right? Yes. So therefore, okay, you can do that. Yes. And I got it. But you need more roots as well. Yes. That'll come in, won't that come in with the when you're having the buds, roots, and xylem and phloem in balance? Well, that'll help you make more food in the leaves now. And by breaking down that food, you're driving the more circulation, getting the food out to those grow points again, so those grow points can continue to grow in balance. More leaves makes more food, makes more growth. And you can continue that cycle. Yes, I can. All right. Is there anything else? No. Do you think you can survive now and be a healthy tree? Yes. Is there hopefully, okay, wait, there is something else. Okay, is there something else? Yeah, I got it. Okay, so what you want to do is even though you want to put them in balance, you want to overly compensate a little bit for the xylem and phloem because the insects are eating at the phloem tissue, aren't they? Yes. So you want to overly compensate a little bit with extra phloem tissue, but you're still going to keep the buds, xylem, phloem, and roots in balance. Yes. But what you want to do is overcompensate a little bit in the phloem tissue, putting on more phloem tissue so you can get food down to the roots so you can survive. Yes. Because you have the insects attacking the phloem in parts of the tree. Yes. Okay. And that'll help you out. And we've already done the treaty, we've done the eco-peace treaty with the insects, right? Right. Anything else? No. Can you be nice and healthy now? You think you can go on? Can you be healthy and grow? Yes. Can you complete the season? Now I feel you're starting to move now again. Is that movement good? Yes. Because I'm straightening back up again. Yes. I'm getting straightened again because I like this. This is really helping me out. And I have a nice clear pathway. And you can replenish your part systems and functions with food. Yes. Will you be in community with the other trees? I already am. Okay. Can you share food and fluid with them? No, because I don't have enough. So I would appreciate it if they could share with me if they have some. Okay. Okay, perhaps they can if they have enough food. If they have an excess of food, they can share that with you. Okay, but you are in community with them. Yes. It's my phloem tissue and not good circulation. It's my main issues. I got it. Because I have the insect problem. Yes, I got it. I got it what your problem is. So the insect will leave. You'll live. You have a good path to live. The insect will leave, complete its cycle, move on, and you're on your way to be healthy, a tree again. Yes. Anything else? No. Thank you. So you have to understand this is an ash tree I'm working with. And the problem with the ash trees right now on the eastern coast is they're all being attacked by the emerald ash borer. So that's the problem. That's what's really going on for this tree. So what you really want to do is hear the surprise ending as to what the tree was trying to tell me in the end, as to what it needed, where it really needed help. And it wasn't that I didn't get it. It was we had to work it out together as to what the tree really needed. And it took all the steps, and then in the end, the tree finally could get to the point where it said, this is what I really need. Now, it said it was okay earlier, and it was okay, but if it had that one more thing, it's kind of like, I just have this one more thing. If you could really straighten that out for me, it would really help. It would be the one more thing that would really help. So in the end, I always ask the tree, where are you on a scale of 0 to 10? Where 0 is unhealthy and 10 is very healthy. This tree says, I'm operating as a 9. I'm operating as a 9. That's what I'm looking for. I want 9s to operate. Doesn't mean the total tree is back to total health, but it's operating as a 9, and that will bring the total health of the tree back again. That's what this is all about. Because once it gets there, it's just a matter of time. You know, initially, the tree knows this isn't right and that isn't right, so we try to work out a path to help out those things. But you know, the real fact is the tree doesn't completely know sometimes what exactly is wrong either, or what exactly will help it out. So that's why we collaborate together. And that's why it's a progressive thing. The treatment is a progressive thing. It's a this piece, then this piece, then this piece, then this piece, then this piece. It's like, I always said it's like putting together a puzzle. And then once you get the puzzle put together, then voila, the tree is on its way back to health again. And usually the sign for me is what happens is if I'm in a peaceful place, the tree goes in the light. And it just, in my mind's eye, it just totally goes in the light. And like, it might happen right away, might happen that night, but it doesn't make any difference when it happens. Or sometimes the tree will send me a message. I got the treatment. This is good. I can make it work. And so, you know, it took, you know, kind of like that. Because it doesn't know either. Look, if it knew, it doesn't need me, you know. I'm just helping the tree sort out what's not working right, help give it some options to work with, and collaborating with that intelligence of the tree and kind of working with the intelligence of the tree so the energy of the tree can rearrange and shift. And intelligence can help the energy of the tree rearrange and shift so that what shows up in the physical is a healthy, strong tree. That's what we want to have happen. So when I'm treating by myself, not as a demo, I'm using a 6-page protocol that usually takes about 2 hours to go through. That's because there are a lot of checks and balances in the protocol for me. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm getting the right message from the tree and making sure that I am pinpointing exactly what the tree needs. In many cases, as we will show in the next video, the tree doesn't, as we showed in this video, the tree doesn't know exactly what it needs until it and I have our two-way discussion. Then in the end, the tree understands what it needs and knows its path to healing because of our collaboration.
So we want to open the floor to any questions or comments.
For a few minutes
A
anyway.
few minutes, yeah.
Yes, well, thank you, Jim. Thank you, Basia. let me just ask some basic questions, and then we can bring in some of the comments from the chat. And any of you who have comments or questions, please just write them in the chat, and we'll try to bring them in, because we're going to have a little conversation, then a video, then another conversation for the balance of the time. But one thing, Jim, I was just struck. You seem to have instant communication back and forth from the tree. You're using very specific, highly technical language in English, and it appears as if you're in a hospital room and you're talking to a patient. Does the tree answer in English? How are you receiving such immediate feedback?
And right away, it's it's not left brain logical. It's right brain intuitive. Okay, that's what
Is
you
it
have
an
to.
image? Is it an image, or is just an intuitive hit that you have as to what
Intuitive,
the answer is?
really an intuitive hit. A lot of times there'll be an image or something else with it. There'll be a picture, an image with it, but very often it's just it's just a hit right away. Now understand too, I've been doing this for about 20 years. So
Yeah,
I got
for
this
sure,
down, you know,
for
I
sure.
got this down. I didn't start out this way. Okay.
No,
20
for sure. I just wanted to get sort of the medium of
Yeah,
communication.
yeah. But it's really just intuitive. It's really intuitive hit, and it just keeps coming. Okay, it just keeps coming, and I have to put it into
Yeah.
words. It's intuitive communication. I just have to put it into English words.
Yeah. And I
And
want to a smidge to that trees are very intelligent, and the thing that's operating here is that there's really spirit and a deeper kind of communication that gets exchanged. So if someone approaches the tree and is speaking French or German or some other language, that's what they're going to hear back. It's not doesn't require the English language.
right,
It's
right.
what they can personally receive through any of their senses. So it could be, every person is different. It could be visual, it could be auditory, it could be just feeling. So it's really what that person is tuned to. And the great intelligence in trees and the spirit involved communicates through that.
Yeah. And what was striking me about the conversation, Jim, that you were having with the tree, is that trees feel to be a lot like people. They're susceptible to both internal and external stresses. They
Absolutely.
either overcome them or they don't. They can develop neurotic complexes where they kind of go sideways in their growth and development because they didn't quite either harmonize it, or the external force was bigger, stronger. So that really you're dealing with a patient, much like a human patient with multiple issues. Doctor, I've got these. And as
Exactly.
you were saying, if there's at least three dysfunctions coming together, that's, we would call that comorbidity.
Right.
That when an elderly person has three or more comorbidities, their mortality is threatened. And would that be kind of it's a metaphor, but trees are basically like people, right?
To some extent, that's right. Let me tell you the one difference, though.
Yeah.
Trees don't get into all the psychological things that people get into.
Yeah. Oh,
People
yes.
get
Good
into
point.
all the psychological.
Point.
Do I deserve it? Am I worthy of this?
Yeah, yeah,
Am
yeah,
I
yeah.
this? Am I that? Trees don't get into that. You don't have to deal with that with trees. They just
Yeah.
want to heal. They want to heal. They want to live,
Right.
and they want to be
Right.
healthy.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now, and just like you said, I love what you said, because yes, they get a couple of stresses. They can compensate for those stresses. They can do those things, but after a while, you get too many stresses, then the three or four stresses lead to declines. Okay.
Right.
That's
Right.
what happens. Okay. Then they can't compensate anymore. So then they're not doing, then they start back. And the idea is to get everything back connected again. So then the tree can turn that growth pattern back up again, back to being healthy again. But it
And then
takes time. Takes
Yeah, and
time.
then Kurt Krieger was asking a very interesting question when you were talking about with this big 800-year-old tree about wisdom. You
Right.
know, are trees sort of like people that over time you gather wisdom? Did you feel in a gnarly 800-year-old tree in England uh, deep wisdom as opposed to something, a different tonality if you put your hands against the trunk of a little sapling? Is there,
Absolutely.
can you
You know,
feel the wisdom?
there's a lot of wisdom in the older trees. You can feel that. And the other thing I always like though, in the like the little younger trees, you feel that youthful energy, like a little kid, bup, 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 running all the time. Don't want to stop. Yep, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna that. And all you have to do is help them with a little direction. If it's a younger tree, just give them a little direction. They'll figure it out. You
Yeah,
know, the older trees, you kind of got to work with them a little bit more sometimes. They're kind of like, this is the way I'm growing, kind of like, help me out. That was like that 800-year-old tree. Look, I kind of heard you the first time, but can we go through it again to make sure I got it? You know, so I did, and then it fed it back to me.
Sounds like a little bit of dementia.
A little bit of dimension. There you go. There you go. And it said, all right, feed it back to me. So it fed it back to me that it knew what that path to healing was. It said, you know what? This is pretty good. I can do this. That's what the tree is saying. I can do this. I want to do this. I want to be a healthy tree. I want to live my optimum life. I don't want to just live and grow. I want to live my optimum life. Okay. That's what the difference is. Okay.
And then just as a question, and we can, I just want to bring in one more, but just as a question that's emerging, do you ever talk to these like older trees about other issues? I mean, do you ask their advice about the state of the world or what they think about the forest or
All the time. All the time.
so they communicate more
Oh, yeah.
broadly than
Oh,
just what
yeah.
they need to
Oh,
be.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
because
cool.
I talk to them about the forest. I talk about the mountain. I talk about the glacier at the top of the mountain.
And
We
they're
talk.
aware. They're aware of what's going on with the glacier melt and with the tree diseases far
Aware.
beyond their own
You
uh,
got it.
specific tree.
Because trees and plants live in community.
Yeah,
One in trees world, I'll say this later on, but in the trees world, one trunk is not a tree. It's multiple trees is the tree. And they are very aware of the tree, the multiple trees. They're very aware of the mountains, the forest, everything. They know, talk about weather patterns coming. They know long before we do when the hurricane's going to hit. Okay, we had a hurricane come up here, the East Coast, about 10 years ago. They knew it was coming up. They knew where it was coming in. They told me exactly where to go and where to treat so that they were ready for it. Okay, so I could help them
really.
out. Yes, they know exactly what's going to happen. Trees are very intelligent, and they're not. They know. Somehow they've communicated with that hurricane. Don't ask me how, but they do. Okay, they know what's going on. Okay, and they can work it out. Okay, and then what happens is then it's their energy works with the hurricane energy so that they really can work together if the tree is healthy. If the tree is healthy, that's the key. If the tree isn't healthy, then its energy can't work with like the hurricane energy or the
Right,
mountain
right, right.
energy or the forest
But
energy.
that would explain why, when hurricanes come through, some places are missed, other places are hit harder.
You got it.
There's an interactivity between the ecology about about uh, the whole momentum that's being enveloped by the hurricane, that you don't want to touch that particular place or that particular
That's
tree
right.
or house
And,
or
and
whatever.
it's so good that even if a tree does get weak, what it does is it says, I'm going to fall here so I don't hurt the house. Okay. And I've seen the trees fall where the tree literally falls between the garage and the house, doesn't hurt anything, and not even the limb knocks over the pot sitting on the porch. Okay. All
Wow.
right. All right.
Yeah.
In other words, the tree is saying, look, I'm a little weak down here. The wind is too high. I can't hold up anymore. I'm going to fall, but I'm going to fall so I don't hurt anything.
But that was in a case where the property owner was very tuned in, loved her trees, talked with that tree,
Yes,
a
yes,
relationship
yes,
with the tree, had
yes.
had a relationship with the whole property that was caring and loving and attentive and even spiritual. And so the trees collaborate and do what they need to do, not to hurt the people in that case. So the case there is that the relationship is so important. And if I could just add one thing about that, so many people want to go to trees to receive their wisdom, and that's wonderful. And trees are very happy. They want to help humanity. But right now, trees are sick. And we humans have to come out of our human-centric, little bit selfish point of view, and we have to do more of what Dr. Jim and I are recommending, which is asking trees about their health, helping them with their health. We offer
Exactly.
some very simple methodologies. The protocol that Dr. Jim has, that's really for his professional use, and that's developing all the time. But we offer some very simple methodologies that people can do right in their own backyards in a few minutes or daily, to do that connection and actually give back to the trees, to help the trees regain their health. It's really simple and easy to have that relationship.
And I have one other point to add to that. When a tree is healthy and is living its goals, it can call forth the environment it needs to survive and live. The trees, the forest, the trees, the mountain, they can call forth all these droughts we get because the trees aren't healthy. The trees can call forth the rain. They can do that.
But they have to be healthy to do that.
But they have to be healthy in order to do that. And they have to be
Exactly.
connected in community to do that. And then you want the answer to climate change. Yes, it's going to happen because we're doing all the pollution thing and everything. I grant you that. But some of the things people can do is help the trees be healthy, because then all the beings in nature are calling forth what they need, and that will overall help some of the climate change. Not going to do the whole thing, because we're the ones doing the messing up. Okay, we the humans are doing the messing up, but at least the trees, we can help them out somewhat that way. That's all I'm trying to say.
But this is a crucially important point, everyone, because we're now experiencing runaway climate change and more ecological disruption. So rather than being victims of that, thinking we can't do anything about it, actually what Jim and Basia are saying is we can. If
That's
we
right.
take care of our garden, if we are conscious of nature and communicating in some mysterious way, nature will respond and take care of us to the degree to which we keep it healthy.
You
That's
got it.
essentially what you're saying.
That's
Mhm.
exactly what we're saying.
We're
Yeah.
all collaborating then
Exactly.
as
Exactly.
equals and in partnership. That's one of our key points, is that the new paradigm is moving to partnership and away from this domination, control, and superiority, moving to partnership.
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah.
asking the trees and plants what they need from
Yeah.
their point of view. That's partnership.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Not-
Connie Baxter put in the chat a beautiful little vignette that they had a gathering of elders in Maine, and she brought a little tree, a little pine tree, and put it on the podium, and the tree communicated with the elders and was deliriously pleased to be so honored. And now the
Sure.
tree is this big, huge pine. That's an example of the kind of empathetic honoring of our ecology that is required for us to ensure that nature works with us during times of ecological distress.
That's right.
And we work with nature. It's got to be a two-way
Two-way
street.
street.
Yeah.
Mutual.
Cool. Well, why don't you show the other video, your next
Let's
video?
move on to the,
One quick
one-
comment. You
Sure.
say about the mountains, you talk about water shortages, the mountains are tanks. They hold water. That's what the trees say. Our mountains hold water. Okay, we have water. These are water tanks. Our mountains are water tanks. We know this. Okay,
yeah,
just think about that a little bit. Okay, and what it is we're working on the glacier, so we had to connect the water down here in the lake with all the way up to the glacier and all the way back down again. Get all that connected and all the beings in between. You want to help the glacier? That's how you do it. Then the glacier gets the water it needs to live. Okay.
Yeah.
wow.
I've got
It's-
enough.
it's pretty
Okay, let's go
wild,
on to the
yeah.
next video.
All right,
No, but this is fascinating and so
Yes.
important. So
Yes, it is.
yeah, totally.
This is where we got to go. We got to go to this partnership
Yeah.
and this reconnecting of beings of nature back up again. And people have to come from their point, from the beings of nature point of view, not from the human point of view.
That's exactly right. That's
And work
exactly
with
right.
it, communicate with it.
That's
It's
exactly
it's
right.
okay to do the forest bathing and all these things people want to do, but give back. But give back. Work with nature to do those things. That's the opposite. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay,
cool.
introduce the next
In
video.
the next video.
Okay.
So the next tree, this is my favorite tree, one of my favorite trees, is the great triple oak, and it's on a private property in New Jersey. This tree and I have known each other for about 15 years, so we have a long friendship. Its health is actually quite good. So this treatment turned more towards some key points that it wanted me to tell you.
Let's just go to the
Go.
video. Okay. Share.
So what's going on? So all of this weather extremes are affecting us. Yes. The wind affects us, the water affects us, they're all affecting us. And humans need to know that, yeah. So is that what you wanted to tell people? Yeah. Our activity changes. We need to use it. We need to make a lot more food for ourselves because we're much more active than we have to be to withstand these different weather patterns and climate extremes. So we need more food to do that. Because if this needs to grow or that needs to grow or this needs to happen, that needs to happen, that all takes food. And food to drive circulation, food to grow, food to whatever. And what we want is that we want people to understand that. But what I keep seeing, what I keep hearing now is partnership, the word partnership. We want partnership. Partnership with the humans, partnership with the trees, partnership with all the plants. Because trees and plants operate in community. And the weather patterns affect those communities. And then we're operating as single trees. And what we want to operate it as is as community, as one. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay. And what happens? Part systems functions malfunction? No, they stop. Systems stop. Ooh, okay. Okay. Circulation stop? No. Food stop? No. Food breakdown. Enzyme reactions don't work right. Okay. So enzyme reactions don't work right. So then they don't break down the food right. Got it. Not breaking down the food right. Then they don't have enough energy to drive the circulation. Got it. And then that doesn't drive good circulation. Is that what you're saying? Yep. If I'm not driving circulation, then I can't get food out to my leaves to grow new leaves. Got it. And then if I'm not growing new leaves, I'm not making enough food for myself, and then I become a weak tree, And then we get caught in the spiral of weak tree, not enough food, not enough food, weak tree, not enough food. Okay. So we need to do is work around that a little bit, don't we? Yeah. Okay. So how do we work around that? We break down the, I got it. Break down the food, drive more focused circulation, make sure that energy gets focused towards driving that circulation, right? And get that up to get that food to the growing points so that they do grow. And then if they are growing, then that's making more food to help more growth and more circulation and more growth. Right. Can you do that yourself? No. You need a little help. Yeah. Okay. And that's where the humans come in. Yes, humans can help us. Because they can help us sort out. They can help us sort out what's not working and what is working, and help us get those things back connected again. Just by being our partner. But, you know, people don't have much of a science background, so how can they help you? That's what I'm concerned about, trees. How can they help you if people don't have a science background? Because I do. I can ask you yes/no questions and I can help you. But how can other people? Oh, they can help us. They can help us. Again, we have senses that that you can't even begin to imagine. So if you be in partnership with us and know some basics about growing and about circulation, food production, if they know some basics, they can help us. Just by connecting all those pieces together again. It's the partnership that helps. It's the partnership. Because in the partnership takes away the interference. It's the interference that hurts us. The partnership helps us. So when you're in partnership, you can't be in interference. So that's what the key is here. Got it. Got it. So you may not have much knowledge to help us, but if you're at least in partnership with us, that takes away you being interfering with us. And it's the partnership that'll help us maintain our growth and help us to stay healthy. Because we're intelligent, and it's like intelligence to intelligence, you know? And we can all connect. As one. All connect as one. Intelligence, all connect as one. Partnership takes away interference. Partnership, even with the basic amount of information, help us pull that basic information and the understanding that we're affected by these climate extremes. We're not just it. We're actually affected by the climate extremes. Anything else? Tell the people we sense them beyond belief, beyond anything they can believe. We know they're there. We don't have eyes, ears, nose, and mouth, but we know they're there. What they're trying to show me is, it's like a tree is an energy being and a human is an energy being. Yes, we have different forms, but we're both energy beings. And in that energy being, we can be together in those energy beings, in the light. Actually, in the light, you can be those energy beings in the light. And that's what they're asking for. And in that light, be that energy beings together. And then have that transfer to in the physical the non-interference and the partnership and understanding that we're all energy beings and light all one. The tree, it's showing me things. For example, I said it's like we're energy beings and light. That's what I saw. I saw a picture of that. I saw community. I see these things. Okay? And that's what the tree is telling me it wants me to say. The one I can remember very clearly was the energy beings and the light. Because at first it was the tree.
Uh-oh, we're having a little technical difficulty here. Oh, all right,
Relaunch the video.
let me stop the share.
Go back to the video. To the video.
I'm I'm trying. Oh dear. Well, if we
Now you both froze.
yeah, I can't even stop the share.
Maybe turn off your video part.
There. Okay.
There we go.
There we
Okay.
go. We're back again.
All right. Well,
Put the end of that video.
you want the end of it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Maybe
let's-
you could just summarize it, Jim. 'Cause
well,
we may
we
get caught in the same loop again.
yeah, we got to some really good parts. If you want, let's
just a second.
try.
We can try, yeah.
It's this one. It's not coming up. It
One more time.
seems like it's a Zoom, more like a Zoom problem. It's not letting me get onto the
I'd leave it. Let's just keep going.
let's just
I
keep
think
going.
you gave a lot of
All right. So
content, but just summarize what you
here's
if
the
you
main
finish
thing.
the video, what would you want to communicate?
Yeah. Here's the main thing in this video is that partnership negates interference. That's really it. Okay. And what happens so much in the world today is that people are actually interfering with the life force and the life functions of a tree and the plant because they're coming from the human point of view. And if you're in actual partnership with the tree, you can't be interfering with it because you're in partnership, you're collaborating with the tree. That's what we're trying to say in this video. And the one piece I didn't get in there, which kind of reminds me, I was talking about how we're all light beings and everything like that. And what I was using as an example is like, in some of the Star Trek things, where if there's two people standing next to each other, they both get beamed up together, and then all of a sudden they show back up as beings again. Well, that's kind of the way it is with the trees. You're kind of one being with them in light, and then you come back as two kind of somewhat separate beings, but you understand you're all one. Okay. And that's what the key.
But it's emphasizing this whole notion of partnership between humans and the ecology that is essential for their growth and for our survival.
Exactly.
In a time of escalating ecological turbulence, we want to make sure that nature knows we're here and we're doing our best.
That's right.
Now let's just Roberto Schifo has brought in a question that if the trees are conscious, how about the rocks? Just comment, both of you, on the awareness of the ecology as a whole, because I think at least my position is it's all conscious in different kinds of ways, whether you're a dolphin or a rock or a bird or a tree or an orchid, it's all conscious. It's just different geometric shapes will produce different vectors of consciousness. Is that what would be your comment on that?
Exactly it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it. And we all have to be connected as one. You got to have them all connected. The rocks, the soil, the trees, the plants, all of them need to be connected. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that consciousness needs to be connected. And if they're healthy, they can be connected. If they're not healthy, they can't be connected.
Yeah.
They lose that connection because then they're just trying to survive. Okay, that's what goes on. They're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whereas if they're healthy, then they're saying, yes, we can be connected, we can operate as one. And then you get that nice even energy flow that they all benefit from, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, rocks have consciousness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was talking about the glacier before. Yeah, the rocks were working with the glacier too. I got to tell you that much. And the rocks were working with the trees. Yeah, yeah, their energy is in there. Absolutely. Got to have them all connected up too. It's not just the soil and the water and everything. Yeah, it's the rocks too. They got to be part of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
consciousness.
And so I imagine, even though your specialty is trees,
Right.
you also, because you can talk to trees, you can probably talk to rocks.
Yes. And I can talk to glaciers. You got it. That's right. That's That's right. Exactly. Exactly. But my specialty is really trees. That's right.
Yeah.
But the others I have to learn more, you know, but to work with them. But yeah, rocks probably not so much as, some other things. But
Or
yeah,
just, and would you say there's different personalities between an ash tree and a willow tree and an oak tree? How do the different kinds of trees manifest their differences in how they communicate, or do they have personalities?
oh yeah, you'll find some personalities in there. It's kind of like where they grow sometimes. Okay. And and uh let me give you, there's a nice big redwood at Basia, can't pull up the picture, but there's a redwood in a Henry Cowell forest in California. And the path goes down this way, and then it goes to this way. And right in the middle there, before it turns, there's a nice big redwood. And that redwood is the directionaire. So he tells people coming down the path, now look, you got to go this way. This is the way you got to go. And it's a little like the first peach tree I showed you. It wows. I want to stand out here on the path and wow the people. So when they're walking down here, they go, wow, look at that tree. That's why we named that tree Wow. Because yes, that's what its absolute job is, to wow people. There's the greeters. I want to greet people as they're coming up the driveway. I want to direction. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of things that the functions that the trees want to do. And all we have to do is be in touch with that consciousness of that tree, that what the tree is looking to do. And yes, as part of that is like what we would call a personality of what they're trying to do, in which case, like I said, the directionaire or the guider or whatever it might be.
I want to tell about Trelania.
Okay.
Trelania is
I love it that you have names for all these people.
Oh yes. Oh
Well, you
yes.
have to, because if you don't have names for them, you're constantly saying, well, that tree and that tree and
Yeah.
that tree. You
Oh,
can't.
Yeah.
They have their own names, but we can't pronounce them.
Yeah.
So we do our best to approximate. And so this tree Trelania is a massive live oak tree in the Bay Area of California. And when I first met Trelania, Jim was working with another tree on the property, and I went up, oh, can I work with you? And the first message was, go away, I'm meditating. Well, long story short, Jim came and did get permission to work with Trelania, did some of his healing. I went back to the tree and said, could I talk to you now? And there was kind of a soft, quiet, yes, I'm feeling better. Let me explain. So this tree is a very wise tree, a very old tree, and is it is working in a network of other oak trees on the whole planet. And their job is to hold together their species and to keep communication going among the whole species of oak on the whole planet. So of course, Trelania was meditating in that connection. And similarly, we have a wonderful friend. We call him Home Tree. He's a giant sequoia in the Calaveras Big Tree State Park in California.
Sierra Nevadas.
So, yeah, in the Sierra Nevadas. And he explained to us that the giant sequoias are actually broadcasters on the planet and to beyond the planet, that they are holding communication among all trees and plants on the whole planet. And they also broadcast out to whatever else is out there in the universe, and then receive information. So they really are universal connectors, and they're so important on the planet because that's their purpose. So yes, trees have amazing personalities and amazing purposes for themselves.
Right. Yeah, so just like an ant hive or a beehive, they're doing their thing in the ecology. They're in touch with everything, and then humans come in a disruptive, completely unconscious way. So they've got to really do everything they can to wake us up. So
That's
I
right.
imagine that was implied by what you were saying, Jim, about there's the greeters and there's you need to turn right.
Yeah,
They want the communication.
Oh, they want the
Yeah, they want
communication.
it.
They
Yeah.
want it. And see, and you just mentioned like even the ants. And like we have a big insect problem with certain insects in this country, is because we're fighting them. Start to work with them. There's a consciousness there. Work with the consciousness, then they're not going to over reproduce and take over and throw everything more out of balance. Okay, start to work with them and be in touch with them. They won't go berserk and produce all these babies so that they're threatened, their life is threatened. What they'll do is they would work with us and work with
reproduce in balance.
reproduce in balance with the trees and plants. That's the other part of this whole thing.
Yeah. Now, someone was asking, Basia, when you were talking about the trees having their own names and their own language. Do you know anything about what a tree self-name sounds like, or how?
It's unpronounceable for us, and perhaps even unhearable. They have their own consciousness and lives, and such great intelligence, and they find these ways to tap into what we can hear, and then they communicate with us on that level, and hopefully move us forward. And yes, and there are a lot of people on the planet who are becoming aware, and we're so grateful to those who are becoming more aware and beginning to honor the life force of trees, plants, and all living beings.
Now, let me just ask, because we're getting close to time. I don't know whether you have another video you want to show.
Well, we did. We could give it a quick try. It's about 4.5 minutes. Should we try?
Let's try it, and then
Let's
if it doesn't work, but I have another couple of questions I'd also like to ask.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is only a 4-minute one.
And it's not coming up. There's just some glitch going on here. So sorry. But what we'll do is we'll post these on Dr. Jim's YouTube channel. So just so everyone knows, his YouTube channel is at the Tree Whisperer _ Jim Conroy. At the Tree Whisperer _ Jim Conroy. So we'll post these up there.
Yeah, and maybe write that in the chat so people can see it. But Jim, I have a question
Sure.
So you have this conversation, or someone has a conversation with a tree, according to your protocol. Sort of, then what? Do you bring kind of organic manure? Do you water
Very,
them more, or is your work purely diagnostic and empathetically supportive?
It's healing.
it's healing because it gives the trees a path to healing. If they need something, I'll find that out. But very often it isn't what they need. It isn't putting a product on there or anything like
Let's say
that.
the water's not getting from the trunk to the leaves.
Yeah.
So what does one do when one hears, oh, the tree says, okay, I can't get my water up to the trees, to the leaves, and my circulation is bad. So then what does the human do?
So work with the tree to increase to break down more of the food, get that energy breakdown,
But you're
the
doing that energetically. You're not bringing something
Energetically
to
and
energetic
the.
in
and in
consciousness.
conscious.
It's a bioenergy overlap and a consciousness overlap. It's through consciousness that the trees are receiving these messages.
So,
Okay.
I'm working with that consciousness of the tree. I'm working with the parts and functions of the tree to get it back operating again. And either it's back connected again, so that's happening again. And when I'm done with the tree, that's either happening or it's not. If it's not, I'm going to keep working with the tree till it happens, till it's happening. And then we go on our way. And very often, though, what I say is the tree is operating as a nine because that has happened, but the full effect of that has not shown up in the tree yet because maybe it was thin, but maybe the tree was very thin up top. It isn't just going to instantly put on leaves, but it will over time put on more leaves because now it has that circulation happening.
See, Jim, the
Gotcha.
tree recognizes the clarity of the message that they're sharing, the message from Jim, like increase photosynthesis or move more, have more movement in circulation. So the tree recognizes that in consciousness, and it begins to put that then those steps together as a path to healing, because the thing we missed in that one video was about the steps of the path to healing, that the tree can take this in and then begin to have clarity within itself and follow those steps.
So the tree and I work out that path to healing. And in what you're the example you use, the tree and I will work out okay, tree, if you break down more food, get that focused circulation, get that thrusting circulation, you'll be able to push your water up more into the tree. And if you get your water up into the tree, then you're going to be able to make more food and replenish the extra food that you use to start that with. Okay. That's the plan because we didn't get that. We didn't get to put that video in here. But the tree wants to know a plan. It wants to know that it can replenish that food before it'll even start the process. It's not going to do it. It's got to see the whole picture. Okay. That it can heal and replenish its food supply and have the food it needs before it's going to start anything at all.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha, guys. So basically, this is bioenergetic healing.
Yes.
If you think about it,
Yeah.
that uh,
Stop.
is not anything that you do physically. It's what you're intending energetically, as a collaborative partner with the tree.
That's right. And the tree is taking it in because it is either stuck, and in many cases, I get very stuck trees. They're stuck, they're stressed out, they look really sick, and they're asking for some help. How do I get through this thing? And together, I and the tree work out a collaborative way that it can work this path to healing and then become a healthy tree again. That's
Right.
what it's about.
Exactly.
But there
Exactly.
is something simple that people can do that I'd like to, again, try to share. Maybe I can just share it as an image instead of as a video. Let me get this open. Nope.
Not going. That's all right.
Yeah, it's a simple series of words. It's kind of like a song or a chant that people can go out and say to their trees. It's simply
Make more food,
drive and clear circulation, grow.
And
Make
now just think about it. Makes more food. That food breaks down, drives the circulation. They drive the circulation, they can move the food breakdown and they can move their fluids around inside of the tree to get it back
Gotcha.
up to the leaves to grow, to put on new leaves and make more food. So it's make more food, drive and clear circulation, grow, as in grow new leaves or
Yeah.
new roots or new xylem and phloem. Then that helps them make more food, make more circulation. Okay, that's what it is.
As
Yeah.
Ben Levy just said, make more food, thrive in circulation, love.
drive and clear circulation. Make more food, drive and clear circulation, grow.
Oh, grow. Well, Jim, Basia, thank you so much for this. They're going to join the after chat, everyone, so we can continue this dialogue. But I think that's a nice, happy note with which to close our formal session. And so that'll bring us to a close for today. You can join the after chat. You'll see the link in the chat box. You'll also receive the link in your Zoom reminder for today.
And
We thank
thank
you,
you,
Jim.
Jim.
Thank you for the beautiful discussion. I want to thank you again for your opening comments and your braveness to do that today. I agree with you 100%. So thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Be
Bye
well.
for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.